All right. So, you guys have looked at data set 1 and 2 and done background research about lions. So, Lulu the lion, we all know, is lion 630, and you were trying to figure out who her cubs were. So, how do we know about what parentage is? So, what have we learned so far about lions? Well, we've learned that they hunt in groups and they live in groups together. We've also learned that we can tell some different things about the dynamics of the groups. So, from your research, you should have found that only the females do the hunting. Male lions, when they find like a new group of lionesses, they will often kill all of the cubs from that group because they are not their offspring. So the whole purpose of that lion male is to like spread his seed, and he will mate with all of the females in that group or that harem and try to spread his offspring. We've also found out that it is beneficial for the lionesses to raise cubs that are not their own in order to spread their genes. Because most often, all of the lionesses in one of those harems or in one of those prides are related to each other somehow. So we need to look at genetic information. So these pictures, these are something called a karyotype. So these are actually karyotypes of different chromosomes. So if I do my little pen right here, so every group of chromosomes, you can see like chromosome number 1, there are 2 of them. And this is because 1 comes from biological mom and 1 comes from biological dad. So for every single one comes from biological mom, 1 comes from biological dad. And what can we tell about an organism from the karyotypes? Well, we can tell what species it is. So humans have 46 chromosomes that occur in 23 pairs. So this karyotype is actually from a human. So we have 22 chromosomes, but our last pair is our sex chromosomes. So this individual is a male because we have an X chromosome and this little teeny tiny Y chromosome. And this one that's now below me, this is also going to be a male because we have an X chromosome and a Y chromosome. A female would have 2 X chromosomes. So now we have some karyotypes from a lion. So these, once again, are pictures of chromosomes that are in an individual. So these numbers and letters mean certain things. So if we look at this one right here, we see where we have FCA4, FCA7, FCA96. Those numbers and letters mean a certain thing. And what they mean is slightly different chromosomes, and they are markers for genes. So gene FCA4 might be a gene for mane color, or it might be a gene to have a certain enzyme that helps that lion to break down food or not break down food. And maybe if they don't have that enzyme, they're allergic to something. And why are there 2 sets of chromosomes? So why do they occur in pairs? Well, in fertilization, 1 set comes from biological mom and 1 set comes from biological dad. So in fertilization, when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much, they make an egg and they make a little sperm. And in the sperm is 1 copy of that chromosome, and in the egg is another copy of that chromosome. And when they come together to make a baby, we have 2 chromosomes. Yay! All right, so here's some terms. You should remember these from middle school. So the first term is chromosome. So this is a chunk of DNA. So it's look like a little worm, okay? The number can determine species and biological sex of that organism. This one might be a new term for you guys, and we're going to use it quite often. This is an allele. So that's how you say it, not like Patrick and SpongeBob that goes allele, allele, allele. So this is an allele, and this is the version of the gene that you have. So for example, I have blue eyes. So blue eyes are recessive to any other color of eyes. So that means that I got 2 copies of the blue allele or version of the gene from each one of my parents. If you are homozygous, that means that both versions you got were the same. So you've probably seen it marked as like big A, little a, big B, etc. So that root word homo means same. And this word zygous actually means egg. So that means that you are same-egged. So you got the same one from each parent. Heterozygous, hetero means different, zygous still means egg. So hetero means different. So both versions of the genes that you got are different. So for example, my daughter has blue eyes, my husband has hazel eyes, and I have blue eyes. So she got a copy of a hazel gene, most likely, and a copy of a blue gene, or maybe she got 2 copies of the same one. We don't quite know because babies, their eyes can still change color as they get older. The last term here is a genotype. So this is the version of the genes that you actually have. So this is a genotype. This is a genotype. This is a genotype. That is the version that you actually have. So when we're looking at our individual genes, we have our chromosome here. So this little yellow worm is representing a chromosome. Same thing with these little blue worms up on top. The alleles are each version of the gene. So here we can see for gene A, this individual received 2 different alleles. They got the black allele and the tan or skin color, whatever that is, allele. For gene B, they are actually homozygous for those allele because they actually received the same one from each parent. So if you look at the ones above me, it's the same thing as well. So locus means location. So on a gene, on a chromosome, these genes are in the same location. So they received the gene for short hair and for long hair. And they also received the gene for white fur and black fur. And how that manifests is going to be different based on which ones are dominant and recessive. So with all this information, what you are going to do today in your groups is you are going to try to find out which lionesses have to be the mom of these cubs. So we're going to go over one example right now, and then we will set you free. So up here for my locus for gene FCA26, so that might be a gene for hair color or an enzyme or claw length or tail length or anything like that in that lion. There are 3 alleles or 3 versions of that gene. So if we look at female 628, she has version A and version B. So whatever those 2 are, that is what she has. She passed on one of these alleles to each one of her cubs. So if we look at all of these lion cubs down here, cub 709, for example, has allele A. So this cub could be the cub of 628 because they're matching for that A allele. If we go down to 710, she also could be the mom of 710. She could have given either the A or the B to 710. But if we skip all the way down to cub 712 has C and C. So 628 could not be the mom of cub 712. Okay, there's no way that she could be the mom. But we also can't use just one. They have to match for every single one. So for example, if we take cub 710 and we're trying to figure out who the mom is, A or B, well, everyone except for this one could be the mom so far. But now we have to go to the next one, M and N. Well, we already know this mom is not the mom, so we're going to cross it out all the way across. Well, we still don't know because both of these moms could have given an M or an N to this cub. So now we have to go to the next one. This cub has S and U. Well, this mom could have given an S or an S, or this one could have given an S or a U. So we still don't know which one the mom is. However, when we go to that last set, this cub has D and D. Well, lioness 630 has E and H, or is that F and H? I can't tell with what I crossed out. So she could not be the mom because there's no way that she could have given a D to this cub. So mom 628 has to be the mom for cub 710. So with this information, I want you guys to go through and try to figure out who the moms of all the cubs are and then who the dads of all the cubs are with this information. So you guys today are going to complete data set 3, 4, and 5. And then the part of this that is graded is that last final report that you are going to get after all of these sets of information are completed.